We are live with the man, the myth, the legend himself, king of Tink Pixel. Holler at your boy, Lashun, the man of
Hey,
delivery, whatever you want to call him.
mm, what is good, man? How you doing, bro?
So, first thing that people want to say is, or I want to say, is congratulations on hitting 1K. We hit that last night.
Yes,
For,
sir.
or
Yes,
you hit
sir.
that last night,
Yeah.
I
Hey,
should
hey,
say.
you can say we. You can say we. You know what I mean? It's all good. Yeah, yeah. We did. We did hit that one light. We did hit that last night. Thanks to the homie Eric, man, because that was definitely was not planned. You know what I mean? So that shocked me. So I appreciate all of the whole squad, man, that helped out to get me to 1K. Finally, I am here. So it's time to have some fun.
So, my first question I guess I had for you is when you're not creating content, when you're not watching sports, watching whatever, laid back at home,
Mm.
you're out there working, making money so that you can buy product to create content and support yourself and, do your thing. What is your, I guess, 9 to 5, job for people who don't know?
Well, for those of y'all that don't know, my 9 to 5 is I work at a warehouse. I work at FedEx ground. So that's what I do for my 9 to 5. I hate it, but hey, you gotta pay the bills, man, right? So
Do you ever get your own packages coming through?
actually, they said that that's pretty impossible because the packages come through the truck, so it's impossible for you to be in that truck to get and you can see the package because there's a lot of packages in there. So for you to be in the right truck to actually see your package, yeah, yeah, that's nah. But normally when I do have my package, normally when FedEx are delivering, I have them hold it at the job and I can just go in there and pick it up.
So when I got my fold and my flip and my buds, they were actually
Mm-hmm.
at like the local FedEx for like 2 days, but they couldn't be intercepted. They wouldn't let me do a pickup. Would that be like Samsung saying don't release this? Like, is that up to the person the company that's sending it to allow you to pick it up or not? I'm guessing.
I I don't know. I've never heard of that. That's crazy. I don't know what to say to that. I guess if you cool with the person, like for example, me, I could probably go in there and be like, "Hey, Michael Pepper got this package. What's up with it?" You know what I mean? And but for you to try to do that, yeah, I don't know.
It's
I
weird
don't
because
know.
I remember one time like calling them and being like, yo, it's 40 minutes away from me. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
take 3 days to get it here because like it got there on the weekend and they were set for weekday delivery. And it was like 2 day delivery. It went out on a Friday, so it meant it wasn't going to get there for another few days. So I just called them and they're like, yeah, sure, come on, pick it up. Now they're like, nope, you can't even. And I think Samsung probably got things more unlocked. They wanted to make sure like people got it
Yeah.
whenever they released it. But I know some people got theirs quite a bit early. They were
Yeah, some people did get theirs early, and I was shocked. I was like, "What? They got them already?" So, yeah, I've never heard of that, man. That's crazy. I would be pissed if that was my package, and they was like, "Nah." I'm like, "Bruh, I'm coming up there, dog."
it's really unusual because when the Galaxy Book Pro 360 came out and like the Pro and like the two Pro like 15-inch and 13-inch came out,
Hmm.
um they weren't supposed to. It was like pre-order a certain date, and then they weren't supposed to like start being delivered until like a Tuesday. I got mine like
Mm.
the Thursday or Friday of the week before that. It was like significant. And even then it was like it was they weren't actually supposed to be in stores until the next Friday. So I got mine like 10 days early. It was insane. Samsung was like, "No, we don't care." But it seemed like I know Apple really has that all unlocked. They're like, "We aren't releasing anything. It's not going to get to you
Yeah,
until the same day as stores." And Samsung used to
right.
be that way, but I wonder if they do that so that the because we all know that there's content creators that get these early, and some
Mm-hmm.
of them don't get it as early as like MKBHD in these, but like they'll get them earlier than like the rest of the people, like a couple days early. So I wonder if
Mm-hmm.
Samsung is like, even if it's available to them, don't release this because we want to make sure that those content creators are covered in the. It's not like some. We don't want like the Michael Peppers of like being able to get
Right,
it at the
right,
same time.
right,
Like why not? But
right,
whatever. It's not like anybody's gonna, you know, care about that too much. But
right. Yeah.
so we all, or most of us, probably know that you're heavy in on like the Pixel, the Pixel Buds and all
Yes,
that.
sir.
Um, what got you in on, I guess, like really appreciating the Pixel versus all the different options that are out there?
Well, before I was using Pixels, I was using HTC, I was using LG, and I was using Samsung. Those was like my three main devices, companies. And the Note 5 is what did it. So when I had, me, I'm a tinker. I like to, not root, but basically I like to unlock my bootloader so I can download, new software the day that Google released it instead of having them push it to me. So the Note 5, I could not unlock the bootloader. Now I had the S3, I had the S6, I had the S4. I was able to unlock the bootloader on all of those. But when it came to the Note 5, I wasn't able to do that. So that made me say, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna, try the Pixel. I'm gonna try Google. And ever since then, I've been hooked with Google. Now I had the Samsung Galaxy Nexus and I had the Nexus, the glitter one. Which one was it? The one with the glitter back. Uh was it the four? I think it was
I'm
the
tr-
four.
I'm trying to
I
remember. I
think it was
think
the
so.
four. And I had that one as well. And I had the Shamu. I had the no not Shamu, but the 6P. I had the 6P. And that right there would really open me up with the 6P. It would really open me up. I was like, man, I think I can rock with this. And ever since then, bro, it's just been pixels, you know. Yeah, Lewis said it. Yeah, it was the Note 4, Nexus 4. Yep.
Yeah, I
So since then,
remember because I remember back then, and like, and it's funny because if you tell people most of the time today, I think that there would be a lot of people that wouldn't realize that like the Nexus devices that were like Google promoted, but Huawei
mhm.
made. Like
Yeah,
Huawei made the
yeah.
Nexus. Like people would be like,
Like,
"What?"
Nexus, what? Like,
And then
how?
HTC, made all their great devices. My brother-in-law had all the way up through either the M8 or the M9 until they stopped making them, and then he went over to Pixel because it was like the closer alignment. Of course, HTC got their team got acquired by Google, and
Yeah.
the what was it, the squeeze to trigger
Man, I miss
assistant
that.
was there.
I miss that the squeeze functionality. That's one thing that they need to bring back to these Pixels because I was using that thing like crazy. I did love that.
I've tried some of those. Have you ever tried the apps that they say that like, hey, you can simulate it, but it's supposed to like somehow like sense the
No,
pressure? I'm like, those things are
no,
half the time it doesn't work, or you feel like you're over here like having to put
right,
1,000 pounds of pressure on the thing, like you're gonna
right.
snap it before it's gonna work.
You gotta put it in an alligator mouth or something to get the thing to function right. Like, come on, man. I would not be try to use that. Nah, that's pretty funny. I never did that. That's pretty funny.
I've tried that, and I just like I said, it was like you gotta be like superhuman to put enough pressure on
Right.
that to. I don't know what they're doing to simulate it. It must be like a barometric pressure thing or some pressure sensors that are in there. It's like
You gotta have a firm grip on that thing, man. Mm-mm. So that's funny. Why do that when you can just go out and get the phone that has that.
Yeah, or now you just like double tap the home screen and swipe with your finger from the corner real quick, or like they have a button on the side that will trigger it, or you can use the phrase to trigger it, which most of the time
Yeah.
it works. And or
Hmm.
have you used it on your watch at all? The Google Assistant.
The assistant, I've used it a few times. I used it, I mean, a few times, like 3 times. I forget that it has it because it's not native. So, you got to go into the thing and open the app, right? You just can't say the hey and it opens, right?
You can now. I don't
Okay,
know
you
when
can now.
they did that. I don't know when they did that. I remember when I first tried it, it was the weird, yeah, you had to install it and then you went into your settings and you set like the bottom but or you set the button, right? And then you
Mm,
could set it to trigger assistant, but then you had to go into the settings and say like, okay, I want my assistant assigned to Google Assistant, not to Bixby, and then it would do it, but it was always there was like that delay because you hit the button and then it's like button's been pressed. It's got to tell the system to launch assistant, and then the system's got to
yeah,
go, okay, this assistant is signed as the default, and it was a mess. Now it's pretty much instant. It's really fast. Like I've been using it to like check the weather and stuff, and it's pretty fast. I don't know when they changed that because I just restored
mm,
my or I just set up my watch again, so it must have been an
yeah.
update over the last
Now
couple months.
it's still not built in natively, right? You still have to download it, right?
I, I think so. And it's
Right.
you still got to make sure that it's assigned to the button, but it seems to be more instantaneous. I just
Now,
wish that like it was default because Samsung when they launched this was like, this is our huge deal. It's the
yeah,
same thing with
yeah,
like
this is a huge deal, right? This is our saving grace for the watch. You want the assistant, and it took what, damn near a year for them to get it.
yeah, not even officially get it, like kind of a weird way. I mean, and then people were
That
doing
is,
the method like you were talking about, side loading and boot loading. People are doing that
mm-hmm.
method where there was like the app that you installed on your phone and and then you went and found like the APK and it let you like inject the APK onto the watch, but it was still weird because it like launched the mobile interface and it was really kind of awful. It was like was it Chrome OS for a while that had that where you could use like Google Assistant in the browser and then they kind of decided that that was kind of a mess. I think it
Yeah, I
was.
think it was. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. I tried that once, and I was like, no, no. So my thing is, I wonder is the watch. You got the Watch 5 Classic or the Watch 5?
This is just the 4 classic. I'm holding on to it.
Oh,
From what I've seen, like
mm-hmm.
I'm the weird like 1% that can get like a couple days battery life out of this thing. And so
Yes,
like to
you
me
are.
that's
Yes,
enough. I
one
feel
day.
like a couple days, yeah. I feel like if I got like the 5 Pro, I could probably go like a good 3 4 days on that thing based on like what people are getting. Like there's
Yeah, I
people that would
heard.
get like a day or two are now getting like double that. So
Yes,
I would be getting like 3 or 4 days probably on that thing. I'm
yes.
tempted. So when I got my fold, I got
Mm-hmm.
the credits and I used those credits to get the buds. But when I got my flip, I did it when you got 200 in credits, but I didn't use them and they had the deal where like if you didn't use them then they'll send you an email so you can use them later. So
Mm-hmm.
if I take those 200 in credits and Samsung is still giving a decent amount of trade in on this thing, I could go pay like the $60 for like the difference plus the taxes. It was like $60 and get the 5 Pro. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. But I kind of wanted to see like what people's battery life was because processor
Yeah.
wise, it's using the same chip. So like your
Right.
performance is similar. So that was the thing holding me off a bit, and like people's thoughts on not having the rotating bezel and some things like that. Like, um,
Yeah.
because I've
Yeah.
never used one that didn't have a rotating bezel, so I don't know like,
And
is it laggy when you're trying to use the virtual? Like, I wanted to kind of see
yeah,
that.
hey,
So
but for me, man, because you know me, I've been having terrible battery life with this watch. This watch is complete trash to me, in my opinion. The battery life is trash, like LTE trash on this watch. So when I seen that the Watch 5 Pro is gonna have 590 milliamp. I was like, oh yes, yes, yes. Get this hot box up out of here because yeah, I need that 590. So yeah, and they was giving $244, $240 for trade in on the watch. So I was like, you can't beat that, man. So I got it coming. I don't know what Samsung is doing. I'm gonna have to hit them up tomorrow because my order is still saying we're waiting on your order to be confirmed or confirmation or something like that. So yeah, battery
I
life
mean,
alone got me. I will sacrifice the rotating bezels for battery life.
I had the was it the Gear Frontier or whatever? The
Yeah, yeah,
S3
yeah, yeah,
Frontier. I had that
yeah.
and I had problems with it. I actually sold it because I was having problems with it overheating during charging. So I'm like,
Mm,
I'm getting rid of this, and I sold it to somebody, and I gave him a really good deal on it. I think I sold it to him for like $200, which at the time, like, it
yeah.
was a fairly new watch, so it was still a really good deal to them, and you know, it was the cellular model too.
Oh, nice, nice.
Um, and then I held off for a while and ended up getting this boy because I was like, oh, they're using Wear OS and like
That what got
um
me. That
some of
what
the
got
stuff
me.
that they're doing. I'm like, I it's gonna be way better than Tizen Watch
Come on.
OS or whatever they were using at
Yeah,
the time.
whatever
It
they
was
were
like,
calling it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it worked. Like I remember I was snowblowing and accidentally hit the button on it because it was like bumped up against my glove and
Mhm.
I'm like what's in my dad and all of a sudden I look at my watch and it's going off and my dad's calling me and he's like are you okay? I'm like yeah, why? He's like well I got an SOS alert. I was like oh man, I'm
What?
glad I didn't have it set to call 911 but my watch had
Wow,
pushed
you're
up
like,
against the but like I knew then I was like this thing is solid because it did what it was supposed to do, right? Like I
hey.
had hit the button and then I didn't respond within a minute, so it automatically called the people I had set up to.
Oh
But
man,
like,
just imagine if you doing some dirt, some dirt, and that happens, and the police showed up and you caught in the act on doing some dirt or something. That'll be terrible.
I think that's why most of them are just set up to call somebody instead of calling like 911. It just calls somebody and then they can call it for you because that would
Yeah,
be
they can call
too
it
many
for you.
times that like somebody accidentally. I know the Apple Watch will call 911. Like you can default it to that if you
Yeah,
want, but
yeah,
you can
yeah.
also go in and just set it to call somebody. So I just have mine set up to like it calls my wife and call and or like sends a message to my wife and my parents. So whoever's available, whoever's you know,
Right, right.
but um, let's see. So let's see. Michael Cochran asks, Samsung always using their own silicone with the watches, or are they using the Snapdragon 35?
They're using their
Um,
own.
yeah, they're using their own. It's like that. Was it like the called like the 8950 or something like that? It's their
Yeah,
own
I thought
version.
it
I
was
can't remember 3950. I can't remember. It's their own
I thought it
version of it.
was the Exynos 920W.
It's some weird.
That's yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm not sure. But I think that's what's in the Watch 4, the
it
920W or something like
yeah.
that.
What is it here?
It's sexy.
Yeah, the W920. I knew it was
Yeah,
some weird. It was
sexy.
some weird thing, and I think there's another term for it too. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the same. And you know what? It's plenty fast from what I've
Yeah.
experienced. It's smooth. Like
Yeah, no stutters, none. It's just a freaking hot box, and it just you can't use it on LTE. I turned off LTE and was just using Bluetooth. And on Bluetooth, that thing was a heck of a lot better. I can get 1 day, almost 1.5. I'll say 1.5 days out of it on Bluetooth. But with that, with me working in the warehouse and us not able to have our phone in the building, so it is heavily searching for signal, and with all the concrete walls and all that stuff that's in there, I know that was taking a significant hit. But man, not being able to. Some days, we have a early shift. We get off within like 3 hours, like Monday. Since it's no work, we'll just come in for 3 hours and we're done, and then we'll make it up later on in the week. and the watch won't even make it. I will be there at 12:30. The watch won't even make it to 3. I have to throw it in watch only mode. So I'm like, trash, you know,
That is really bad.
trash. Like,
That
so that's why I'm getting rid of this.
you'd be the perfect like it's too bad that some of like these Huawei watches or even like the Tick watch they don't offer like their cellular model here. It's too bad that like you it's basically it's Apple watches and Samsung watches as far as
Mhm.
cellular or I mean there's I think that like some of the Fossil
Uh,
watches work.
Fossil watches, yeah, fossil watches, and you got your designer watches out there, your Mont Blancs or whatever you call it, and but I had a Tick watch. I think I had the Tick watch 2 Pro. I want to say, and I like that watch, but I was having issues with that watch myself, like connection issues. Like it would never stay connected. It would always disconnect, like always. I did have the Huawei watch. I did have the GT2 Pro, and that thing was phenomenal. Like 14 days of battery life on a single charge, man. Mm.
I had the TicWatch 3 Pro, and the only thing I had was like after I can't remember how long it was, but um it was after quite a while. Then all of a sudden, like the sensors just stopped working, and I contacted them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we got you. We'll send you a new one," because it was like still within their 1 year warranty.
Hmm.
But then I heard nothing from them. I basically like got
Oh, they
ghosted, and
ghosted
I
you.
was like, "Man, nope."
Wow.
And everybody says like the Pro 3 Ultra or whatever. I guess
Hmm.
they fixed the issues with the sensors. I guess that was like a known thing. It's like, well, I wish they would have told me that because I would have just contacted them and been like, "Hey, can you swap this out for the Ultra while
Right.
it still works?"
Right.
And but yeah, I don't know. I wish more companies would do that dual display stuff though, where it has like the because you get the way better battery life because they're doing LCD on one layer with like a and then they do like the OLED on the other. So they do like it's like black and white only, low refresh rate on the one layer, and
Hmm.
I um I just wish that more companies would consider some of this stuff, but um
Yeah.
I don't-
Yeah.
I-
That would be dope. Like I wish other companies would like use the rotating bezel like Samsung was using. They're about to get rid of it, but I think that's one of the best ways that you can interact with your watch without having to touch your watch. You know what I mean? Putting fingerprints and all that stuff on there, and man, I absolutely loved it, but it just battery life, man. So I also know, we got the Pixel Watch coming, and that thing's supposed to. I heard the battery life on that thing is just trash. You know what I mean? Like you're only getting 1 day, if that. And me, I'm gonna get the LTE one because I can't have my phone in my job, so I need to stay connected. If my parents are older, so if anything goes down, I need to know. And I'm kind of worried, man. Like Barry said, man, I'm kind of worried on that thing, man, because I wasn't gonna get the Watch 5 Pro, but the 590 sold me, and then I don't even know what the Pixel Watch got the battery life. I know it's maybe 300.
I think it's probably about the size of like yeah, around there because that's like what the Apple Watch is. And my concern is like so I have a hard time with battery life on stuff because, for example, some people the way that they use their watch is just notifications, right? And then they picked up their phone to respond, and like their the watch doesn't have very many apps on it. It just pops up notifications for everything, and it's mainly they're keeping track of time. It might be checking their heart rate like once an hour and some things like that, and so they can go, those watches they'll go days and days and days like the Huawei watches. It's
Yes,
general, but then if you're doing like with my Apple Watch when I was using that, I'm like replying to text constantly, checking the weather, using even like Telegram in there. doing audio calls and stuff through it, and that's gonna kill it super quick. So my thing is like I don't
Yes.
know if the Pixel Watch, if they're using that size battery and they're gonna have like full performance and they're gonna have access to all the apps and like um beyond even like what the Galaxy Watch has, because like Wear OS Telegram got removed from it. Like WhatsApp, I think, is removed from it. There's like one or two apps that actually work apart from like regular Google Messages. And so I'll be curious to know like if some of that stuff comes back to it and what the features are, and like even like remote camera, because that would be sick. Like you set your
Oh,
Pixel up, and because I use that all the time. That's one of my favorite features where you can use your watch as a remote. But imagine, with your Pixel, you set that
mm-hmm.
up and you have that out, and you have a group, and you just kind of look down, and you tap, and it does the 3 second timer. You look up,
Yeah.
and it's like just some of that stuff though is gonna use a lot more battery. So I'm curious to know. I'm hoping though, because like like I get insane battery life with the Pixel 6. When my son's using that, he's watching like Netflix all day long.
Mm-hmm.
He'll leave that thing just running, right? And I'll plug that thing in like once a day, and then it goes again. So the that's it's just running constantly. Like he's the ultimate battery test and
Hey,
like
it's between
case
him and
tester
Scoop.
too. Case tester
Between
too.
him
Like
and between him and Scoop, they some battery killers, huh?
so. So what do you think that Google is gonna do? Is there going to be a particular, because we all know like they have their particular pixel features, right? Like
Mhm.
the hold for me and the call screening and like the schedule where you can see like when's the optimal time to call a business, and the live transcription, and like even their audio where it picks up like what song's playing, and all those features that are like specific, that are, I mean, there are features you can get through apps. There's features that are available on other devices, but they're not built in. They're not fast. They're not snappy. They're not like immediate, like how Google does on the Pixel. What do you think that they would do with like a Pixel Watch that would be that feature that sets them apart from other?
Ah, man. Pixel wise, what would be the separating feature? I would have to say just uh, maybe the total integration with the OK Google now. You know what I mean? So I just set my thing off. But I wish I understood. You could try again. See look. My bad. But yeah, I think that's what it's gonna be like, and hopefully software, because we all know that Wear OS is, you know, it's not there just quite yet. It's still a hot little mess. So hopefully they can just get this down packed and it'll be probably one of the dopest watch out there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just hoping that they can just get the software thing down, because we've been needing a new Wear OS, and I think 3.0. If they can nail that, that should be the separating feature, because nobody else right now has Wear OS, right? On a watch just right now. I don't
Well,
think anybody else has it
they
right now,
have,
right?
so the Tick Watch is using it, but it's an older version. It's not the
Yeah, see,
updated.
it's not the updated.
It's
So
not the it's it's the older. So they're on 2 and the updated is 3, or they're on 3 and the updated is 4. I can't remember. They're on the older. It's the older version of it,
the
and
older
it's
version. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so no other watch has it just yet. So when Google can come out the gate swinging like that with the software running correctly, and bruh, that could possibly be the watch of the year, man. We already know how they get down with software and everything. So with the watch, they can do that, man. That would be super dope. Oh, okay. Michael said that's an article that said the Pixel Watch may use the 41 plus. Yes, that's right, the 4100 plus. So they will be using what chipset is that?
It's the
Um,
it's the version of the
Android. Yeah,
Snapdragon for
yeah,
wearable.
Snapdragon. Yeah, that's right, Snapdragon wearables. Yep.
That's what
So,
the that's I think what the newer tick watches are supposed to are using now or are gonna use, I guess, like the next is supposed to use. And I wonder if that's kind of like, so it's the plus, so it's like the difference between the 8 Gen 1 and the 8 Plus Gen 1. You get way more efficiency, the battery life, cooler
man,
operating stuff. I'm
yeah,
hoping, because
that's what
man, oh
I'm saying.
man, like I said, like you said, yours gets warm. I put mine on the charger, so I have, well, now I have two of the duo chargers. So
Hmm.
I put my phone on one side, I put this on the other. Man, sometimes it's like I can't put that thing on my wrist. I gotta hold it in front of the fan
Oh.
for 30 seconds before I put that thing on my arm. Like, because of the
Speak-
charging
let
though.
me-
Like, I'm concerned that like, so a 590 milliamp hour battery in the 5 Pro, and then it's faster charging, so that like the charging time is the same as the 4 Classic, because you gotta, that's like a pretty significant jump
yeah,
in
yeah.
battery capacity, but to keep the charging time the same, they have a fast. So I'm curious to see. I'm hoping that some of what they've done, like the newer materials, and I guess the way that they stacked the battery in there, it's positioned slightly different. I'm hoping that means that it doesn't get that warm. I'll be curious to see. The nice thing though, like when you trade in with Samsung, is
Hmm.
send you the new one, and then you have a couple weeks to send the old one back.
Yeah,
So like you get the new
right.
one and you test it for a week or so, and it's like I'm not getting
Mhm.
much better battery life, or it's still getting warm, or it's not worth the difference to me. You can always, or I don't like the you know digital
Yeah,
bezel. You can always keep it. That's
yeah.
the
You
one
can
thing I
always.
always like about them. Like versus like going into Best Buy, you trade it
Hmm.
in, it's gone, and you ain't
Hmm.
getting that back unless you're gonna
You
go
ain't
buy
getting it
another
back.
one.
Right, right. It's long gone. Speaking of that, I called Samsung and I told them about how hot this watch was getting. And kid you not, the lady said I was the fifth person that called that day complaining about the watch overheating. And she said one lady told her that it left burn marks on her wrist. So I'm like, y'all need to recall this. You know it's burning people out here. You know what I'm saying? What are y'all doing? What y'all doing?
I'm surprised that if that was the case, they wouldn't have recalled. Giving, I mean, the Note 7 had battery issues and for
Yeah,
people, and
man.
they recalled that thing. And there were some people that didn't have issues and were mad because their software,
Yeah,
blocked them out. But like, they're usually pretty good about like, hey, we're gonna yank this from the shelves, and then we'll just fix it and release a new one. I just
yeah.
I just can't imagine a watch for classic FE or whatever, because to to fix the battery in there. I mean,
Right.
that's kind of what the I guess that's kind of what the 5 and the 5 Pro are, from what I hear. It's kind of like we we're fixing some of those things, tuning some of those things, and it
Hmm.
seems to be a lot better. But I don't know. What do you think about the Google tablet that they're supposed to be doing?
I haven't really caught kept up on that. That's supposed to be what, next year. So I haven't really caught touch bases with it. I forgot what it even looked like. All I know is just next year. So I'm not really sure. Now Google last tablet was what, the Nexus 7.
Yeah.
Was that the last tablet?
Oh,
Uh,
they had the Pixel Slate,
okay, the Pixel Slate was the tablet. I didn't know
and
that
then
was a
they
tablet.
had the yeah, and then they had the, well, I guess that's technically not a, because that's the one that converts, but yeah, I guess it
Mhm.
would be the Nexus would be their like last full on like Google
Yes,
tab.
yes, Google tablet. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm the Tab S8 Plus that Samsung, or I'm guessing any of the tab, lineup that they released this year, it impressed me, man. Like I was not expecting to like that tablet as much as I did. and yeah, see, you already know what's up. So, yeah, I was not expecting to like that, and yeah, I freaking love it. That's one of the best things that I think Samsung released for me.
Yeah, I I've went back and forth. I've had my actual first like high end, I guess you could say, Android tablet was the Tab S6, and I had I don't know, I just didn't like the size of it because of the different aspect ratio
Hmm.
to like the iPad, and I felt like when I was holding it in portrait mode to scroll through some stuff, it was a little awkward to me because it was like really narrow this way and kind of tall, so it was kind of a strange thing. So I ended up um, fortunately, they announced the S7 series right after that, so I had the S7 Plus, and I liked that better, even though it was the same aspect ratio. I think because of it being bigger, so it was a little wider. Um,
Hmm.
and I had that for a while, and then when the Tab S8 series came out, I got the Ultra and was using that for a bit. But to me, it was like I need the keyboard for this thing to really work really well. But I didn't
Yeah.
like. I was like, for $350, that was kind of seemed kind of flimsy to me. So then I tried using it in just a case with like my
Yeah.
Logitech keyboard and mouse. But I was like, wait a minute, if I'm having a tablet, I don't want to have to use accessories. I'm just gonna grab my laptop if I'm gonna do like I'm gonna grab a laptop if I'm gonna do doing that much. And like Dex is cool, but I was like, and then because it's so
Yeah.
big, when he turned it
Yeah.
sideways,
That thing
even with
was bruh.
120 hertz, it was like you could tell that there was motion in there. So I didn't. So I ended up going back. I actually ended up buying an iPad Mini.
Oh wow.
Funny enough, I ended up trading in my Tab S8 Ultra. I brought it back to Best Buy, and for what I had paid for that and the keyboard, I got an M1 iMac, like the base model, and got an iPad Mini.
Wow.
But then I missed this boy. I missed having a Samsung device for like messing with Dex and seeing the updates and some of the split screen features and just some of the stuff and like syncing between my devices because I use Mac OS, iOS, iPad OS, but I also use Windows. I'm on my Windows desktop right now, and I
Hmm.
use Android and I use Pixels and I use Samsungs and I have LG phone that I use
Use
for
everything.
recording audio sometimes and stuff, but like I miss the Samsung stuff. And to me, I was like, I'm just gonna grab the regular S8 because Amazon had the deal where you could do like over 12 months, so it's like $48 a month or whatever, and it was like no
Hey,
interest. So I'm like, I'll just
not
try it
bad.
that way and do it that way. And um, obviously people are doing some insane deals. Like I saw somebody had the Tab S8 Ultra and keyboard case that they were selling for
Yeah.
like $750. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
that's like half price. Like if I had
Yeah.
had $750 all at once, I would have hopped on that and got it again. And then I
Right.
could have just at that like you're paying $400 for the Tab S8 Ultra when you consider the keyboard is 350
Hmm.
bucks. Like, and there's really no deals on that. So,
Yeah.
um, but I like it. I got it's the unicorn beetle case with the big
Hey,
old
we got
thick.
the same one. We got
I
the
love.
same one, sir.
Yeah, I got it because I saw your video.
Hey, appreciate you.
That's why I
Hey,
got it because I was like, what case am I gonna get? And I was like, oh, that thing has a nice, kickstand on it. You can slide your hand kind of in the space
yeah.
there and use it to hold it. And
Yeah, use it to hold it. Yeah, that thing is nice. Now, I heard that the Samsung keyboard thing, that thing was trash, and they was reaching with that price, $350, bruh.
well, they
That
saw Apple had the Magic Keyboard, and they're like, "Oh, we can do that too." But what they didn't
we,
understand is
bruh,
like you're
no,
talking about like a
no.
plastic flimsy, like it didn't hold on very well, and
No, but I wanted it too. I wanted it, but I was not gonna pay no $350 for that plastic thing. And I want to blame Barry. I know Barry's thing. I want to blame Barry for the reason I got the Tab S8 Plus because he talked me out. He was like, "Hey, Lashun, we cannot buy the Xiaomi 12S Ultra. I think it was the Xiaomi 12S. Oh, one of the Xiaomi series, the 12 series." And he was like, "We cannot buy that. It's is what did he say? He said something like, "We cannot buy that. It is trash right now until they fix this. We can't get it." So I ended up getting the Tab S8 Plus. Mm, hey, been good ever since. But I am looking forward to see what Google brings with this tablet. Hopefully, it comes within the first quarter. That way, I can probably use my tax returns and possibly get it. So who knows?
Yeah, the picture.
Yeah.
Somebody else made a comment about it too, but like, yeah, it really does remind me of. I have the Google Hub, like the mini.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think they just call it the Google Hub, and then there's the Google Hub Max. But like, it reminds me of if you
Yes.
took the front part of it and pulled it off, where it's got like the. It also kind of reminds me of the old iPad Airs, where they were the like chamfered, slightly angled. They're like angled but somewhat rounded kind of edges to it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got like the one camera on it, and but pretty
That's
thick
dope.
bezels. But I think that they're. I don't know if that's the final thing because we've seen like, they had images of the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro have been around for a while,
Yeah.
but now we're seeing
Right.
like the mock-ups and those are starting to look different than even what they had on their site. So like, I mean, and Google has quite some time to finalize that
Mhm.
stuff. Um,
Yeah.
but from what
Yeah.
I've seen with Tensor, and then what they're doing with Android, like the new versions of Android and some of the stuff that they announced with like signing in to sync your passwords between them,
I love it. I
and like
love
the
it.
stuff that's built in, and even like your message syncing, and like they're kind of, it kind of makes me think of like they're taking some of the features that you see on like Samsung, and like that UI for multitasking, and some of like the deck stuff, but then also some of like iPad OS stuff as far as
Mm.
like the synchronization between like your messages where you just sign into messages and it syncs up. Like about time. Like I've been saying,
Yeah.
we have messages for web where you got to sign into a web base. Why not just make an app so I can just like install that on any device, and like I have my Pixel as my main device and I can grab any tablet. You can make it work on iOS. You can like
Yeah.
Google could make a, so I mean, yeah, I get they want it built in, but like I've been saying that for a while. Like I would love to, I would totally do that. Use iMessage for iPhone people and then just grab like a Google Messages app and like
Hmm.
have that integrate with the servers that handle Google Chat and RCS and all that, and then just be able to. And I would use two apps, and that would be messaging everybody. I wouldn't have to use Telegram for anybody. I wouldn't have to like if you just
Right.
make it an app, and then it's like,
Be much
okay, I can
simpler.
on Android side because they let you like you can use Facebook Messenger for SMS and MMS if you want. You can use any of the on the Android side. Most all phones now anymore use Google Messages as the default as it is. It would just be the iPhone users. But then again, it's like, well, if they're gonna install it, they can just use fake WhatsApp or something else, and so can the other. But I don't know. I just feel like since Google is looking to build all this stuff in and make it native, they're
Yeah.
they're looking at like, to me, iMessage, I could care less about half the features other than it's the default built in. And like
Hmm.
if I grab any Apple product, right? If I grab any of them, it's just built in there. Once I sign into my account, all that stuff is signed in. FaceTime's signed in, iMessage is signed in. So like I can use Skype. I can use Telegram. I can use Microsoft's um, like video messaging, and I could use other like I could use that. But like you got to sign into all these individual accounts, and even on like a Samsung computer, you have to sign into like your Microsoft account, your Samsung account. You might have like a separate account, um, and so that's to me, it's like the fact that they're starting to integrate this natively is awesome. So you grab a Pixel and like you can check all of your passwords in settings, which
Yes.
you can do that currently, but like it's a few steps in. Like on my Samsung, I finally got it to switch the default messaging handling or password handling to Google because I have all my stuff synced up through Chrome. I finally got it to get away from Samsung Pass and get to the, so like to see them integrating that though at Pixel where you can just go into your settings and you'll see password like under the main thing. You click on it
Hmm.
and you use your fingerprint or you're already in so it knows it's you, and then you can just scroll throughout your passwords and just having that sync up. So I mean, there are a lot of people that are using Chrome but they might not have been using Windows, or they might not have been using like a Pixel or even necessarily a Samsung device where they've had stuff saved. They've been saving it into, so like if you're on your computer and you're the type of person that just always saves your passwords to Chrome, to have that to your phone is huge for me, because that's been my one like hold off on why I hold on to my iPhone, because I have 12,000 passwords that are saved in Google, in Apple Keychain. So now to be able to just sign in and have that default, and then it's over on your tablet, and like some of the integration of like Samsung does that where you can do the like continue messages, continue calls and texts on other device.
Oh, that's dope.
So you can like grab your
I did
Samsung
use that.
tablet and use your phone and have it send
Yeah,
between.
yeah,
That Google's starting to do that, and I'm like, well, if Google does it by default, then that means basically all Android phones and tablets from now on it will be default and it'll be integrated, and you won't have to necessarily like sign into something. It should just work, and that's kind of cool to me. And then
yeah.
Chrome OS doing that too is huge, especially um, Chrome Flex, I think is what it's called, where you can load Chrome OS onto like an old Windows or even like Mac laptop. And it was like
Mm.
their project. So if you had like an older laptop sitting around that's pretty low spec, you can just load that on, and integrating some of the stuff from Pixel into Chrome OS. I think like they're Google's like, we're taking ecosystems seriously, but we also don't want to make it like necessarily too much where you have to own a Pixel and buy all Google products. You can still,
Right.
use a Windows machine. You can still use.
Yeah, yeah. But I still need Google to get stingy with some of it. You know what I mean? Because we
For
need to
sure.
keep some of the stuff within Google to keep people buying pixels. So
Well, it
give
always works
people
better, anyways.
a little taste here and there, and then after that, you
It
want the
always.
final, you want the whole thing. You got to get the pixel. You got to
It's
get the
always worked better on the Pixel as far as like my experience over the last few years, because like for example, like I've used phones that have transcription,
Mm-hmm.
but
Oh
it's like
my,
you turn it on and it's for everything, right? So like you're on
yeah,
a phone call and it's like live transcribing your phone call, and you might not want it to do that. And so you like toggle it on, and then you have to like go back into your settings and toggle it off when you don't want to use it. Well, with the Pixel, it's just right there. I mean, now they've kind
yeah,
of added it into the. They've kind of have added it. Like I think Samsung has finally added it into
yeah,
into
yeah.
your volume controller. You can tap at the bottom and turn it on and off there. But for a while, it
Mm-hmm.
was like it's on. It's like 3 layers into your settings, or it's
Yeah, you got to
off.
dig deep.
Now it's like, and then even like their call screening, they're supposed to be adding to. I think it was One UI 5 beta had it like in there, but it wasn't turned on. I guess that they're supposed to be adding it, but we know
Uh,
that like Google's integration and the fact that like with the tensor chip, that they have the advantage of loading that internally onto your device, so it doesn't require any external connection, is
right.
quite something. Even like their uh, voice to text conversion, like if you want to do a script, like you just have your pixel setting down and you're just like reading off and it's transcribed, and then you can use that for your script later, is is quite something. The only thing I wish is that they would add more languages to their translation for offline,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
wanted to use it to I've been trying to get back into speaking Spanish more and more, getting my vocabulary back, because I took quite a bit of
Oh,
Spanish, but I'm losing my words. Like
yes.
I can sort of pick up on it pretty for the most part, but like specific words I'm starting to lose out on. I can conjugate in different tenses and all that, but it's like, so I want to get that back. Well, one of the things that would be nice is to be able to just like have something that I know in English and be able to
Hmm.
say it and have it translate and know that I'm right. Well, that's great when I'm online, but like I would like to be able to just do it offline sometimes. And then also like other languages I wanted to learn. I've been trying to pick up on some. I want to learn French and Italian as well, and maybe
French.
German. I don't know. I want to get some other
Oh,
languages.
oh, oh, you
French
trying to speak everything?
because of Canada, and
Ah, okay,
and
okay.
also I don't know. I just I've been really into cooking shows, and so a lot of those they're speaking other languages sometimes, and so like I don't know, it's
Hmm.
just fascinating to me to learn other languages and learn things like that. But I think that's the thing that like Google's advantage is they're a search engine, so they have the data,
Yes,
but they
they have.
also know because of their connection with Samsung what Samsung is working on and can kind of
Hmm.
be like, okay, we're gonna get to it before you guys do. Like,
Right, right. They got the upper hand on them. Like, oh yeah, that's dope and all, but wait until we get it done. Yeah, don't wait until
because
we do it.
well, even like the fact that Samsung is like, oh, we're gonna get the Google Assistant on our watch. Well, that means they're working with Google, so Google could
Hmm.
be like, you know what, we'll just drop this on our Pixel Watch and have it smoother
Hmm.
than what you're gonna be able to do because you
Hmm.
don't have our hardware. So that's what I'm kind of looking forward to with that. Like,
Yeah.
it really is like the benefits of an iPhone on the Android world. Like you don't have all the extra stuff that you don't need, but you have like the utility stuff that I feel like
Right.
a lot of people um really do need. And like, people that discussion it's like there is still that side of like people don't want iOS cuz they just or they don't like what Apple does or they don't like or they just I don't know, they just want some of the different features that are in there, but they also don't want like all the extra stuff. They don't need it. And
Right.
also,
Right. I don't need it.
I feel like that's why the Pixel runs smoother. Like even the
Yes.
Pixels, like the
Yes.
using like
That's
the Snapdragon
definitely why.
765 was running pretty smooth. Like the Pixel 5 was running smooth to me.
That is definitely why, because Google don't put everything in the mansion plus the kitchen sink in their devices that they know a lot of people are not gonna use. You know what I mean? You're gonna use it for a day or two, show off your friends, your family, and after that, you're gonna forget about it. So I like how Google just gives you, um, you know, what not more than I wouldn't say you don't need them. A lot of people say they rather have it and not use it than not having it and not what is it? I don't remember that
Then
saying,
not
but
have it and need it.
yeah, yeah, so I guess, but I'd rather have a smoother phone other than having all of these features that I know I'm not gonna use. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, the what is it? The 100 times zoom. I'm not gonna use that. And people are not gonna use that 100 times zoom. I can see up to a certain amount of zoom that people use, but 100 times, come on, man.
30 was really the only thing. Like you could go up to 30 and it was pretty good if you had a lot of light. I'll give them that, but like really 10x is like even like if you put a 3x and a 5x on there, and like
Hmm.
your 5x has a little bit extra resolution, and you can just basically have a optical 5x and then do like a double on that, so you can get 10x from it. That's
Hmm.
pretty solid. Like that's Google's doing that with the Pixel. Like their zoom is pretty solid up to 20, 30 times on like the 6 Pro. But even on the Pixel 6, I've been impressed with like the 10x zoom on there. Even though there's no
Yeah,
actual physical, it's just cropping in
physical.
and it's
Yeah,
doing its
crop
thing.
digitally. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I was good with that. The 4-time telephoto was shocking to me, and I'm not a telephoto guy, but
Yeah.
after
There
seeing that,
are
oh,
I wish I wish Samsung would just give a button like you just hit and it's like convert to pixel mode. Basically it
I
like
used to with pixel mode, activate pixel mode.
well, if you
Yeah.
think about it, okay, so in order for Dex to work,
Hmm.
um it's got to be somewhat loaded in the background. Yeah, it takes a few seconds like when you enable it on your tablet, it takes, 5 seconds or so and like when you go to do it wired or wirelessly, it's got to boot up. It's got to like boot up. But we know that that's all got to be loaded in the background running somehow. Well, if you could shut that off, then I feel like your battery life, your performance on other things would be running smooth. So there's got to be parts of that that are just running all the time for those people, whether you're going to use it or not. And it's like if you could just say, I don't want that loaded, it'd be pretty cool. Cool. I mean, Samsung did have the was it the made for Google models back in the day for a little while there? That
You talking about the Google Play Edition?
yeah, like the Play
Yeah,
Edition, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I remember
And
that.
I never got to use one of those, but like I just wish that sometimes I just wish that that was an option. The one thing that I wish Google would do with the Pixel is at least give us a video out where you can plug in, an adapter to the Pixel and video out. So like if you're at a hotel and the hotel
Gotcha.
Wi-Fi is trash and you want to play like
Gotcha.
Netflix, being able to plug in that, because a lot of times they block like Chromecast from working on their network, and unless you're gonna hotspot to your phone somehow, um, or add direct casting to the Chromecast where you can just cast wirelessly from your phone directly to it, without
That would
having
be
it be
dope.
on like another network. Just like at least one way to be able to, because there are times that that's the one thing that like staying at a hotel, I wish I could just, they like, my son wants to watch Netflix. I'll just,
Hmm.
so then I end up carrying a different device or something, or like my phone sitting up behind the TV playing something. And I was like, I don't want my phone to have to be sitting up
Right,
there
right, right,
utilized as like a,
right.
a cheap Chromecast stick can do this. But, I don't know. That's just the one thing I don't know why they don't allow video out. I don't even, not even asking for a desktop mode, just a simple like, let me mirror my phone to be able to play video. Especially because a lot of people have unlimited data, but they might not have unlimited hotspot. So it's not like I can be like, well, I'll just
Yeah.
use my hotspot, bring my Chromecast to the, to the
Hmm.
hotel or cabin or whatever, and do that. I don't know. I just, that's would be interesting to see like their handling of it. Um,
Yeah, that
I
that
don't,
would be dope. I never thought of it.
and I don't
Thought
buy
of,
the like people won't buy a Chromebook or people won't buy a tablet if we allow them to. Because no, you're not outputting to a TV to use it as a full on. Because even Dex has like some drawbacks compared to even like Chrome OS. Like some of the app stuff that I've
hmm.
had problems with, like Google, if you bring it up, whether it's in Dex mode or regular mode, I've noticed when watching a live stream and you go to click in the chat box that like the video feed goes dark. And so like I'm
Ah,
trying to multitask there and add some weird issues, and it's like, so on a regular computer with even like Chrome OS doesn't do. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see. I'm looking forward to the Pixel 7 series to see
oh
like,
yeah,
I
yes.
want to get the 7 Pro because I have the
Oh,
6
that
and I don't
no,
think the 6 to the 7 is going to be much of a jump. But like
no.
I want to go Pro this year and see really what, okay, when you have like not only their power but like the fastest refresh rate on a display and like
Mm.
the full bore cameras on there, what do we get? And so that's kind of what I'm looking for. What are you looking forward to, I guess, for the rest of the next, what, 4 months that we have left in
Uh,
2022?
what I'm looking forward to is, we already, like you said before, the Pixel series. I'm looking forward to the Pixel Watch. I want to say Xiaomi has an event later this year, probably. I think they had one like last year around later. Um, and that's pretty much it. Cause I don't get excited for iPhones. I don't get excited for Samsung. I think OnePlus may come out with something. Uh, maybe Windows. Um, but yeah, I'm just looking forward to all of the Pixel stuff, Pixel Watch. I wonder are they gonna make any more like a new uh Pixel Nest Hub, a new something new. Um, so
Don't they need to? Because they need to upgrade the Google Wi-Fi too. Because I think they're. I don't think that they've
yeah,
upgraded that in a bit. Because I don't even know, is that on Wi-Fi 6 yet? I think it is, but like 6E is coming out, and like there's some newer mesh, like that uses the actual like third frequency to do some stuff. So yeah,
I think
that and
we got that.
the hub hasn't been updated in what,
That's what I'm
a
saying.
couple years now.
A couple of
The
years.
I have the older one,
I
and
have
the newer one has
I have mine.
the camera in it, so it will like sense when you're
Yeah.
close to it or whatever, the
Ah,
gyro
yeah. I
sensors.
don't. I'm a peasant, man. So
But I got the older one. I was like, I don't need to
oh yeah,
upgrade
yeah.
just for that.
Yeah. Just for a camera, nah, I'm good. I'm good. You know, I'll duo you if you want to see me like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
grab my
So
phone, walk
yes,
around. I'm not gonna be like
right.
sitting there staring at this
Because
hub and
that thing is gonna cost at least over what 200, 300. You thinking 200? I know it's gonna cost over 200. So yeah.
yeah, I think that the version now that you can get, it's the Hub Max that has it in it, is like 190 or 199, I think is the normal price on that, something
Hmm.
like that. And I just got the 80, I just got the base regular, the smaller one and I paid like $80 when I got that, and I think that was normally $100. So, yeah, I don't know. I think with everything getting upgraded and some of the stuff that they're doing and like integrating more and more into, because what I heard is that the next versions are supposed to be integrated. So, like, for example, if you have like a Google Hub or a Google Speaker or whatever, the Nest or the Hub,
Hmm.
and then you get Google Wi-Fi, that they'll work together. So, like, for example, you could have like your main router in like your living room, and then you could have another one in your bedroom. But like, if you have like a Google Nest or a Google Hub, let's say like in the bathroom or the kitchen, and let's say that's halfway between, that it will use that as like another extension to your network. So like
Nice.
your hub will help build out your network, and that would be pretty solid. But
Yeah, that sounds solid.
well, I would like to say thank you to everybody who swung on through to watch this live.
Hey man, I
And of
appreciate
course,
y'all.
the replay will be up. Thank you to our lovely guest, Lashun, for chatting it up for
Hey,
a bit. Um,
appreciate you for having me, man.
Everybody go check out his link is in the description down below. I got it there ahead of time this week.
Appreciate.
Also, click on his channel and go to the about, and that's where you can find other links to like, because your social media and everything else is in
Hmm.
there. I didn't post all that. I just posted to your main thing, so
Hey,
people that
hey,
way, if something changes and people are watching this down the road, it's all updated on your side. Go check that
yeah.
out, people. Um, this has been episode 2 of
Ooh,
Behind the Minds. I've been your
hey,
host, Michael Pepper of Michael Pepper Tech. Thank you again, LaShawn.
hey, appreciate
And
you.
of course, if people want to see LaShawn every week, of course, check out his channel, subscribe, get notified. Of course, every week, Friday at 9 o'clock, right? Yeah, 9
Yes, sir.
o'clock
9
Eastern
o'clock.
Standard Time.
Standard
LaShawn goes
time.
live,
We go
and
live.
sometimes it's the ignorant crowd, sometimes it's the
Yeah,
not so
yeah.
ignorant crowd.
You know,
So,
you know. Now,
but
now that I got monetized, we're gonna have to. I think this Friday will probably be the last ignorant hours. So until I can, the paperwork go through and everything. So hopefully by next Friday, I will be able to have monetizations up. And if then this Friday will be the last one. So y'all may want to be there because we're gonna get ignorant.
oh, I'll be
So,
there.
so I
Peace out, everybody.